Like, y'all have to understand what is going on.
Yes.
And so when we're laughing, we're making jokes,
yes.
but we're also raising awareness. And the fact that you're getting irate, that is something you have to process and understand why.
Yeah.
Like, why are you not able to understand news in a different format? Why are you so angry that people are laughing?
To This Week in White Supremacy. We are here, although we are a man down, we are here to give you all what, Jazz already? Man down?
It wasn't that bad.
At this point, you should just be on the show. That's what I'm saying.
True. So, we're here, we're back. You know, Trouble is in Austin, Texas. He's at South by Southwest to the, generosity of many people that wanted to be there. So he's living his best life. And we're here to deal with some pretty interesting news. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Jumped the gun.
I totally jumped the gun. I was just excited.
Oh, yeah, you're here to deal with me. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was actually excited to bring her on, but...
All right, cool. Go ahead. What are we dealing with?
I totally forgot. To my immediate right is...
it's a miracle.
Yes.
Is this our last recording before Ramadan?
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because inshallah it's also on Monday. That's if they set the moon, but yeah.
Yes.
So I guess it is Mashallah Miracle.
Yes.
Mashallah Miracle.
It's your girl Miracle, aka Big Blessing, with the big blessings here being dealt with, I guess. But he's not here
being dealt with.
Nonetheless.
The only reason many people watch the show, right?
Yeah.
It's from the audience favorite to the audience least.
Because you know why? The semi-Arab is disturbing.
The what? That's what you're going to try to use?
The semi-Arab is disturbing.
Yeah, man. That's what they say. They say, the shaded Arab is disturbing. The shaded Arab is disgusting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And all that stands for, who are you, sir?
The Supreme Asiatic Intelligently Divine.
Saeed.
Yes. The kid with the golden arms, the revolutionary, the gorgeous.
You have a question?
Please
Miracle?
tell me you have a good acronym. Go ahead.
Who's shaded?
I have shades on.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Okay.
She said, "Who shaded?"
The chart is so far.
She said, "You have not been in the sunlight."
But the sun's back, so
sun is back for now.
Sun is back, so maybe. And we
about to go Puerto Rico.
About to go to Puerto Rico, so maybe.
I'm trying to come back on my A-Rod shit. You get me? Fall asleep by the poolside. Come back.
That is hilarious.
Listen, you're not supposed to tell people where you're going.
Well, we didn't say when.
We didn't say when.
We didn't say when. We said we were going. We didn't have the time. But, remember last week? Last week, our episode was kind of about how, the black community has been like the main character in this election, particularly during Black History Month.
Right.
You had Trump and Biden kind of vying for black audiences and black affection, and obviously
with two totally different approaches.
Yes.
One went to a barbecue spot,
yes,
and the other started just roasting niggas.
Exactly, just literally, like laughing in the face of all of these.
I thought that joke would land better because I thought that was funny as shit. But I tried. They don't all land.
Well, not to be outdone, we have a dark horse that came in.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Right as Black History Month was ending and Women's History Month was coming.
I said, wait.
And this independent candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., wanted to let us know he is, in fact, standing on business.
I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You don't have to believe the lies. You don't have to take sides.
You don't have to believe the lies, Miracle.
Feel the divide.
Hold on.
President of the United States.
No.
I'll be standing on business.
Absolutely not.
Hey,
Community server.
I'm standing on business. That's why I'm standing on business. They truly don't deserve us.
They don't deserve us, Miracle. We gotta ride with a purpose.
That's why I'm standing on business.
Hey!
I need my community to be my unity. Need it to be a safer place to stay for you and
all right, we can
that
It's funny because I imagine like Boosie like laying that verse and then like taking his adolescent son to a strip club like immediately after.
Man, listen, right after T.I. checks the hymen of his daughter.
Please stop. Wow. Make it
They just
stop.
Wow.
I bet you their group chat is crazy.
So apparently the producer drummer boy, this is Atlanta folks, right? This is
you know what? I specifically remember asking some people of this light skinned community
and this is exactly why we didn't do it.
To be like, hey,
because it's going to turn out like this shit.
To set the standard and start using music to encourage voter engagement, and nobody wanted to do it. Now look what we got: MAGA rappers and standing on business.
It's funny because
I hope you're proud.
It's funny because I'm wondering. I'm looking at the graphic for the song "Standing on Business," not business, business. And I'm like, why are these briefcases around? Oh, the business, right? So they have a bunch of briefcases.
The money.
A bunch of briefcases.
The money, man.
Because business means you carry a briefcase, apparently.
It's corporate.
So Drummer Boy is, I guess, a big fan of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Is he, though, or did he get a big check?
Yeah, hey, something happened.
That's the question.
You know what I'm saying? But he recruited Boosie Badazz, Turk, from Hot Boys.
So Boosie, Turk,
Jazzy Faye,
right?
Who I haven't seen him in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And
the South.
Angela Stanton King is a woman who Trump pardoned. That I guess she does a lot of QAnon conspiracy theory stuff, and so I guess she's jumping from Trump to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So
this is a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay,
Damn queen,
which Kennedy was Robert like? So for RFK Jr., who was Robert?
Robert Kennedy was the brother of John F. Kennedy, who was also killed.
Okay, yeah, he was the one who went after Jimmy Hoffa.
Yes.
Yeah, he went after
He was
Jimmy
Attorney
Hoffa.
General.
Okay, yeah.
It looked like he was going to be the president, and then unfortunately he was killed. So this is
Sirhan killed him, right?
If you believe in the official story, and then if you don't, there's other things. But Turk said, until we change, we will never see change. We have to do what's uncomfortable to be comfortable. I guess that was like a little veil shot at Obama that we'll never see change because we have.
I took that as like what Allah said in the Quran, that he's not going to change the condition of a people till they change within their heart.
Miracle's face. Angela Stanton King added, we're standing on business for our community, completely done with Republicans and Democrats. People over party. Miracle as our Southern representative.
You know what? PPP money dried up. People got to make their deal some type of way. And this is how they listen, get your coin, get your paper, go on tour, do a club run, community service. I would have shout out to those folks. It is what it is. This is 2024. I will say, if people had policies that were life affirming,
yes,
and allow them to engage their community substantial ways, we would not be here.
Yes.
But because we did not have a competitive primary on both parties, we are here, and all of the people with opinions and access to money are going to be standing on business in 2024.
Does Cornel West have to call Nas and Jay-Z, and does he have to do like an East Coast response to standing on business?
That would be crazy.
Does he have to do?
I mean, that would be hilarious if we could have
but if we're going to keep it tall, like Trump got the best rappers rocking with him. So his project would be.
Does he?
I mean, he got Ye, Wayne, Kodak.
Saeed?
No. No. Miracle was the one that's trying to get him to VP. So,
Excuse me?
Yeah, you Tim Scott's people.
I don't know what you're talking about. First of all, let's not be snitching on podcast number one.
But this Trump, this
Stand
Trump
on business number two.
How much did they pay you, Miracle? That's what we want to know.
I have not gotten paid at all. And here's the thing: people be like, "Oh, Soros pays you. Oh, Trump pays you." Nobody pays me, and it's very, very sad because I feel like I bring a certain type of like
you absolutely do. You're top dollar,
beloved chaos to this equation, and it's just not really appreciated.
Spend the money on Miracle.
But the question, Miracle, is because there is somebody that would pay you if you're standing on business. Not
standing on business. Standing on business.
No. Robert F. got a check for you, Miracle.
Robert F. is an anti-vaxxer. Robert F. does not believe in like medical science and protecting people, and he doesn't really understand civil rights too much. So like he's not the person.
Which is crazy to be a Kennedy and not know anything about civil rights is crazy.
And again, I think like.
But considering how, his family history went with advocating for civil rights, that's probably why he's like, yeah, maybe I should just be quiet on this issue.
I kind of want to see if there's going to be like a video to this one.
Oh my days.
And I kind of want to see if who's going to up the ante? Like, is Trump, are like these, Trump rappers going to come up with like a Trump rap? Does he want to do that?
Does he get Benny on there, like Benny and Ye?
Right. Well,
and
I don't know.
Kodak and Wayne.
Right. Or does Cornell come with a song? Is Biden trying to remember Biden? Remember Biden had the battle rappers? Remember the battle rap dudes?
No, I don't.
You don't remember that?
No.
In 2020, the two battle rap dudes did like a battle rap, like a vote for Biden battle rap. Yeah.
I have no record.
I think wasn't Pusha like supporting? I know he's supporting Hillary Clinton at one point.
He was in Obama's White House.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see if other rappers are inspired.
God, I hope not. This is just so cringy. It's just so cringy.
Yeah. I have a take.
Yes.
And this is like a stream of consciousness as it's happening in real time, right? So I do think, again, and I'll talk about when we go to our next segment, that hip hop really does have a place in political spaces.
Yes.
And the political sphere because it really is on the ground reporting. It really is an immediate capture of what people are going through in people's lives.
The CNN of the ghetto is what kind of Chuck D coined it.
And I still think that's correct.
Yes.
The problem is now, and somebody had talked about this, is the product now has the pin. And the difference is because the product can now sell itself,
right?
It can make its story either the CNN or the dream. Right. Instead of always reflecting the reality.
Right.
And I do think that there is so much happening in our world that rappers and hip hop and artists should really be more engaged. But right now they're just trying to get to the bag. And that has become the issue. But I do think for people who are coming up, they're still talking about not having enough food, not having enough money, the cost of living, crime and violence. And so I still do, stories of opening up businesses and retiring and traveling. So I do think that there is a place for folks in this industry. The problem is sometimes it doesn't seem as authentic as it could be. And
really?
These folks
really? Standing next to Robert F. Kennedy
I don't think that's
with
really
a bunch of briefcases,
as opposed to like just you just stating facts. But like I agree.
Boosie and Robert F. Kennedy doesn't seem authentic to you.
But like me and Jasiri both made a career of making political records.
Yes.
But I think this, like, for me personally, kind of like what you're saying, it's like seeing these men just actually rap an endorsement. It just doesn't. It always comes over contrived.
But and also,
it's not, and it's just not dope. Like it doesn't ever come over like this is a dope record,
and it doesn't come close to the greatest endorsement song of all time, which obviously
Dick Riding for Obama.
Dick Riding Obama is the. But again, that was a parody.
It was.
For those that don't know, that was a parody.
It was the quintessential voting critique.
But for those that don't know, it was a parody on the Boondocks, right? Where they did what was the Boondocks rapper?
Thugnificent.
And will.i.am did a song. But again, it's very similar to this, right?
Absolutely.
And it is like, to me, I look at somebody like Boosie who has a really large platform, and it really isn't, I mean, I don't, unless you're talking about Fuck the Police Boosie, that was like years ago.
Yeah, now he's doing, BET Uncut on his IG Live.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't really, if Boosie was consistently coming with this type of commentary about changing the condition of our community, that's one thing, but he's not. So it does look like that, Robert F. Kennedy and them has some money, or maybe, he's a Kennedy. He probably got some bread. They gave these people a bag for a verse, you know what I'm saying? Similar to like, when Kodak did a song with 6ix9ine, right?
I wonder
he got $1 million. He did the song and he's like, yo, this is $1 million. I'm going to do this song. That's what I do. I did a verse. I got my money.
I wonder what that studio session was like. Like, were they all in there together? This track just get emailed to people?
With Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah, like Robert F. Kennedy was
Smoking
the producer
blunts.
on this track.
But,
he's like, my family did bootleg.
Bootsy, I've been standing on business for a very long
Man.
Anyway, so to not to change, but to change real quick, we do have breaking news. Again, like breaking news happening right as we're recording. We're recording on Monday. And the breaking news, the Supreme Court, I'm coming to you, Miracle. The Supreme Court just came out and said that states cannot remove Donald Trump from the presidential election ballot. Colorado removed Trump from the ballot. Then a judge in Illinois just removed Trump from the ballot. According to the Supreme Court, they're saying they can't do, and this was a 9-0 decision, right? It wasn't
crazy.
5-4.
No,
was
it's not, because y'all don't
9-0.
listen to me on this podcast.
Okay. Can we we're listening now, Miracle. All ears are on you now, Miracle.
Should I do it? I'm gonna do it.
This is him right now.
Before I come to you, Miracle, it says the ruling means no other state can bar Trump or any other candidate from the presidential ballot by invoking the insurrection clause in the Constitution. The Constitution has said it, no person can serve as an officer in the United States who is engaged in insurrectional rebellion. Why would they do this, Miracle?
Because it hasn't been convicted.
Oh, okay.
It is the same reason why police officers are able to get rehired and transferred until they have a conviction. When the United States government had a chance to impeach Donald Trump, they basically said, we're not going to do this. We don't want to deal with it. It's divisive. It's tearing the nation apart.
Right.
Because they refused to impeach him and convict him, he was no longer barred from running for office. Mm-hmm. Does his conduct rise to the level of engaging in an insurrection? Yes. Does his conduct rise to the level of lying about national security? Yes. Does his conduct rise to the level about sharing secrets that were not supposed to be shared? Yes.
Yes.
He has not been convicted. And until he gets convicted, he is eligible to run, which is why Georgia is going to be such a big deal.
Yes.
Because once he gets a criminal conviction, he is not able to be on the ballots automatically. Pennsylvania, you cannot run with a felony conviction. It is barred.
Oh, wow.
So that is why we see what's going on with Fannie Lewis, in Atlanta.
Fannie Willis?
Whatever her name is. I don't care about her. We see them trying to really stop the Georgia prosecution.
True.
Because if he gets convicted, this is mute. Because he has a criminal conviction.
What if he gets convicted after the election?
Well, he's president.
Like if he wins,
right?
yeah.
I mean, and that's the question.
Can he pardon himself?
Can he pardon himself? We don't know. Right?
It's going to be. You can't pardon yourself for a state.
Oh,
thing.
right.
The governor could probably pardon him and be fine, but because you're eligible at the time, it would still be fine. In Pennsylvania, unless he wins like Pennsylvania, it won't be an issue because Pennsylvania will probably go on to somebody else.
Right.
But there will then be a legal challenge because you have to not only at your time of election, but actually at your time of like confirmation, swearing in, still has to be eligible. And so it has, Pennsylvania in the past has like, oh, you won, congratulations.
Yes. There's the voyeur part of me can't seeing like Trump become president and then have to serve time as a president would be so mind-boggling,
like Kingpin
and blowing,
Marvel, bruv.
It would be so great. Then do the Secret Service. Are they in orange uniform?
Yeah, that's the question I've been asking.
So incredible. So this is what the court said, Miracle. It said, we conclude that states may disqualify persons holding or attempting to hold state office, but states have no power under the Constitution to enforce Section 3 with respect to federal offices, especially the presidency. For the reasons given, responsibility for enforcing Section 3 against federal office holders and candidates rests with Congress and not the states. And so again, it kind of put it back to Congress to say, like, and like you said, and there was a time where the Democrats had control of the Congress and could have, pushed this forward and made these, and including disqualifying other members of Congress like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who participated in the planning of this insurrection, chose not to do it, really with the idea that they kind of wanted, remember, they wanted Trump to run again. They felt like Trump would be the weaker candidate.
And now joke's on you.
Right. And now it's like,
backfired.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Trump responded. All caps. Big win for America.
That's crazy.
Big win for America, Farouk. What do you think?
Is it?
I'm asking you.
I mean, I'm sure for some people they think that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a very strong constituency that he appeals to that says this is a huge win for America. The hugest win. We're going to take back the White House. We're going to be there. Everybody's going to get Trump sneakers, 45 runners, cologne on everybody. It's going to smell amazing. Have you ever been to the Trump lobby? If not, I'm doing the whole White House over, just like the Trump Hotel. Everybody can come, shit on the walls, toilet papers and bidets for everybody.
Does this make us safer, though, in a sense? Because if Trump was off the ballot, does this kind of give this idea to a lot of these white supremacists that, like, they're trying to prevent Trump from being on the ballot? It kind of gives rise to these kind of conspiracy theories. Now that he's on the ballot and you can vote for him, does it, in a sense, make it maybe safer for America?
I don't understand that question. But what I will say is Section 3, I had to double check.
Yes.
Is very specific to the fact that you can be disqualified from office because you have engaged in an insurrection or rebellion.
Yeah.
So states are still allowed to write out what your qualifications are for that state. They just cannot say stands a conviction that you have been arrested or are no longer able to run for office. So here's the thing, to answer your question. I honestly do not know if Trump being on the ballot makes us safer, because there is a contingent of pro-Trump people who believe that unless he wins, no election is legitimate. And so I don't know if this makes us safer. It just means that we have to deal with him for a little while longer.
Yeah, I'm asking because, a book just came out called White Rural Rage,
which is
the
crazy.
Threat to but it's also the truth, right?
Yeah.
And it says the threat to American democracy. The authors were on, I think this is MSNBC, and they talked about why, like, white rural rage was a problem. And we have that clip. You want to play that, Farouk?
Rural voters a threat to democracy.
They're the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, and anti-gay geodemographic group in the country.
Yes.
Second, they're the most conspiracist group.
Yes.
QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism and scientific skepticism, Obama birtherism. Third, anti-democratic sentiments. They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they want Trump to be king.
Yes.
They literally want Trump to become president, to never relinquish the presidency. They're the most racist, they're the most, xenophobic, they're the most fascist, they're the most violent. That's another part that he talked about. Like, they're the ones most willing to engage in violence, like we saw with January 6th. So does this white rural rage, naming it, and we seeing it, right? The fact that Nikki Haley has to get Secret Service just running against this man. Miracle. You were just in West Virginia.
Facts. So I'm glad you led with that, because I was just having a conversation in West Virginia about, Appalachia and this perception that people have about voters and the violence that comes from rural rage. And a part of it is, yes, we do see this violence, this anger that is connected to guns and threats. But on the other part of it that we don't talk too much about is this idea of corporations working with government to destroy rural areas. To, we talk about the lack of internet capabilities in rural areas, the lack of clean water, lack of fresh food, the fact that corporations have really came in and taken over these towns and have really taken, and created almost monopolies on local resources. So they have a reason to be angry, right?
But they're not angry at the corporations, though.
I'm about to get to that.
Okay, my bad.
They have a reason to be angry, but on top of that, the corporations have also bought the media, have also bought journalists to tell them, you're not angry at us, you're angry at these immigrants who have taken your jobs. You're not angry at us, you're angry at these politicians who are fighting for these black Democrats, people and queer people, and they're not paying attention to you. Meanwhile, they are buying the politicians who are giving them the right to frack, who are giving them these licensing deals behind people's backs, who are giving them, they're able just to write off donations so they can literally poison people's air, land, and water. And then you have these folks who are just being told that not only are they under attack from these outside groups, they are living and experiencing being under attack. And then you have us as black and queer people and immigrants be like, I don't want to go to rural Appalachia and talk to people about systems theory because I'm afraid for my safety. And so now we have this void of these voters who are angry, who are angry and armed, who are angry, armed, and abandoned, and don't have a connection to the broader global community because they've been cut off. And so it is an actual threat. But the problem, I think, is that we haven't focused on these corporations that have exploited this community and weaponized this community. And now it is, it's not like we're too far gone, but it is going to take a lot more work than we even imagined or could realize to reach these individuals and to build with these individuals. And it is an ever-growing problem that is going to keep expanding until, hopefully people are able to reach and engage. But there is an actual threat. And I do fear that if people feel that Trump isn't getting a fair shot, that actual violence, like another January 6th on a more direct and more violent level is going to take place.
But again, I think some of these, again, like you said, these corporations are able to just do this carte blanche, right? Because one of the things, can you play the rest of that clip? Because they make a point in that clip about when Trump was actually president. Can you continue to play that?
They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalists. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence. So Trump comes in and says, let's just hate on cities. Let's just hate on minorities. Let's hate on immigrants. And at least they can deliver on that. And so they're not even voting in their material interests anymore. He was just a conduit for their rage, their anger, their resentment. And that turned out to be what they wanted. And it wasn't really about the material conditions of their lives, because he didn't improve their lives, but he got more support in rural areas in 2020 than he had in 2016, despite the fact that none of their problems had gotten any better under him. All that he gave them was a way to essentially give a big middle finger to Democrats, to people who live in cities, and to the rest of the country.
They're pissed off.
They are pissed off, and they have some reason to be with both parties.
White rural rage.
So that's kind of fascinating to me. Like you said, is that they're mad, but Trump didn't improve their life. Trump passed that huge tax break for the wealthiest people in the country. He didn't improve their lives, and it didn't matter because he was their racist white knight, right? He's their person that could talk bad about, he can go in front of the conservative black audience and bring up all of these black tropes and stereotypes like you talked about on the last episode, Farouk, and the black people are laughing, they're laughing. So he's but he's not even saying, I'm going to make your life better, I'm going to get you jobs. He's on the campaign trail actually touting stuff that Obama passed, right? I passed the VA bill. No, Obama actually passed that. you extended it, but he's like taking credit for these ideas. And so that's what's so fascinating about this is like, he's really somebody that is like, they love him because he's racist and like benefiting from it. And that's it.
He really is. And I've said this multiple times on the show. Trump is a demagogue.
Yes.
He is just he's their symbol. He is their token. He's their beacon for all the rage, all the shortcomings that they feel that they've endured as white Americans, that they feel like there's this whitening or the browning of America. There's this white genocide that like the guy just said, that Trump is just a conduit, like an outlet for all of this. And what is so dangerous is that he's empowering so many people, again, to paraphrase him, despite their best interests.
Right.
Trump's presence in the White House does not improve your life under any metrics.
Yes.
Right? Like the needle does not move north for you at all. Like you're still this constituency that oftentimes is the most undereducated, the most poverty stricken, the ones who receive the most welfare support, the ones who actually benefit the most from affirmative action.
Right.
And Trump's presence actually increases the difficulty of your daily life.
Yes.
But they don't care about all that because what they have is now the opportunity to outwardly and basically with free reign attack people who they view are other or less than them.
Yeah. I have a question because one of the things that came up, and it's interesting, right? Because, you know, Fox News was forced to pay like $800 million, but it has not stopped them from continuing to spread like falsehood and lies, which is also fascinating. But, you know, there's questions around this $500 million judgment against Donald Trump. He tried to get it postponed. He did not. And whether or not he's able to pay it, the way it's looking right now, he might not be able to pay it, but they're saying he might be able to get a loan to pay it. If Trump basically coming out and, you know, it being shown that he doesn't have the money we thought he had, right? If he can't pay this, does that knock him down a notch, with these like white ragers, or does that put him on par with them? He's broke like us. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that gives Trump like this kind of defeated everyman story who's trying to reclaim glory. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like it's a redemption arc for him in their eyes.
Yeah.
So
Miracle?
No. So I think the first part is that Trump never promised them anything that he couldn't deliver on. He never promised to improve their lives. He never promised to help them live longer.
He just said like build the wall and all that bullshit.
Right?
Yeah.
He took their rage and gave them something to hope for and believe in, and for them, they like him because he hasn't failed them. Right?
True.
And so for people who have been promised they're going to help you with this thing, help you with that thing, they've had people come into their communities who weren't from their communities and destroy them. Yeah. They don't want to hear what they're going to do. They want to see what you're going to do.
Yes.
And Trump has really exploited that. And on top of that, Democrats and a lot of progressive spaces, and there are progressive organizations, right? But a lot of folks have basically been like, okay, coal miners are going against their best interests. Kentuckians are going against their best interests. Right. And so we're just going to like leave them away. How many times have we heard like we're just going to throw away red states when we keep saying the most queer people are in red states. Yeah. The most black people are in red states. True. So there is a awakening that has to happen within our organizing. And it's not my ministry. Let me be clear. It's not always my ministry to sit with people who believe that I am a threat to them, but there are other orgs who are. True. But I think with Trump, he was able to exploit it in a way that people were not prepared for. Yeah. And then he was able to galvanize and fuel that rage. Yeah. By saying these are the people you need to attack. Yes. But then he was smart to say, and I'm the person who's going to do it. Yes. If he is not there is no one channeling that rage. Right. And that is what we have to worry about. Because if you're not think about that, if you're not able to like go to these rallies every 6 months, if you're not able to save up to give him money, like what are you going to do? And that is where we really have to basically like we need some de-radicalization. It's not the left that's going to be blowing up stuff. You forget that man in Tennessee bombed like the IRS building in a whole block because he didn't want to pay taxes, and we just pretend like it's not going to happen. But these folks who y'all know I love me some moonshine and I'm trying to better my life. But the Appalachia has always created these underground economies in order to survive.
Absolutely.
That has been built on violence. That has been built on anti-government, anti-police violence.
True.
Right? And so when we're talking about, that immigrant is your problem, that black person is your problem, they have moved from the police and the government is your problem to the individual is your problem.
Absolutely.
And we have to have that conversation because I don't really see Trump winning this election, right? I know people say, this thing, whatever. I don't, I think he has health issues. Yeah. I think that he's stressed out. I don't think he has the financial backing to win this election and to do what is needed. And I also think that the media is exhausted by him.
True.
Like, he used to be a cash cow. Now, not so much.
Yeah, it's not the same.
And I think you're starting to see the media not as much as they should back away from him. And he's not going to know how to deal with it. And that is going to be the problem. When he's going to be raging and saying that this person did this, and if he gets a conviction, oh my God.
Particularly when he's saying, he's saying, instead of Biden, he's saying Obama. Yeah. And again, it's looking like he's making these, mental, gags in front of people as he's talking over and over again. Also at 77, 78 years old, and probably in Trump years, all the Trump years, drugs and stings that he done took. You know what I'm saying? It's probably way more than that.
What I was going to say was kind of just echoing what Miracle was saying, no matter what the outcome of this election is and at the end of the year, that black people are going to be the people who feel the ramifications of this. Yeah, and true. The stigmatization of us and other people who have been othered by, the alt-right are going to be the ones who are targeted. So these attacks, whether Trump is in the Oval Office or not, are probably going to go up. Yeah. And they're probably going to be a rash of these attacks, and we're going to see something very akin to what was, seen in 2020. Right. And that puts everybody on alert at the polls. That puts people on alert in your communities. Yeah. And how you show up for, electoral services and voter engagement and civic engagement. These actions this.
You're right.
Could be very highly targeted.
It could. Because I remember 2020 and thinking and being kind of mind blown to be wow, we might have to have violence. We might have to defend ourselves from violence just to vote, which is pretty fascinating. But I think you make a great point, and you've made it a lot, Miracle, in this discourse about Trump actually saying, here are my values, even as wrong as they are, but kind of standing
on business,
what he believes.
Trump is listen. If anybody's standing on business, it's Trump.
What business though? What
crime.
Business? Crime.
The business of crime.
The business of crime. 100%. The business of 91 felonies. But on the other side, I think what's been frustrating for people that are with Democrats, particularly progressive Democrats, is the feeling that the Democrats espouse values that they haven't been standing behind, and that's specifically been highlighted.
You mean lying?
Well, more so it's we believe in these set of values, right? This is what supposedly separates Democrats and progressives. But then when it comes to what's happening in Israel and Palestine right now, we don't see those. We haven't seen those values aligning with what you say you believe in terms of just even human life. We're seeing people starving to death every day. We saw people a massacre with people just trying to get food. This is going to a level of violence that I don't even think I thought could happen post October 7th. But it led finally, and I'm going to come to you after we play this. Kamala Harris, the vice president, came out yesterday and talked about and used the words immediate ceasefire. Can you play that clip for us, Farouk?
Given the immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire. For at least the next 6 weeks, which is what is currently on the table.
So, Miracle.
This will get the hostages out and get a significant amount of aid in.
So, Miracle, again, this was something that a lot of folks have been organizing around, right? I was just at the memorial for our brother Harry Belafonte, and Angela Davis talked about an immediate ceasefire, and it got one of the biggest responses of the night. Now we have Is this significant moment right now? Does the 6 weeks caveat take away from what she said? Is this because I know a lot of organizing led up to this, including the organizing in Michigan to have people vote uncommitted for instead of voting for Joe Biden. Where does this land now? Is this too little, too late?
It's all the above, right?
That's what
because this idea that like you get to have 6 weeks of life and then we're going to go back to killing you is highly problematic.
Right. That's very problematic.
And we need an immediate permanent ceasefire. And I think that the word ceasefire coming from the vice president is one. She has been the top federal official who has said on multiple occasions that what we're doing in Gaza is being ran the wrong way. And, she would know because of her work in California. She knows like how to engage people. She knows how to, as she said, carry, the stick, whatever the thing is, give the carrot and the stick, right?
Yes.
That has been her whole MO. The problem with this is originally what they were touting was called a humanitarian pause.
Yes.
And so they wanted to get the hostages out, get humanitarian aid in. And Israel had already said that regardless of the hostages coming home or not, we're not stopping. We're going to keep fighting. And the argument is that the reason you want a permanent ceasefire is that it's going to be too much bloodshed.
Right.
Because at some point, this violence is going to move outside of Gaza.
Right.
We don't know if that means here in the United States, if it means in Lebanon, if it means in Syria, because they're already bombing, allegedly Hamas and Hezbollah, in Syria and Lebanon.
Right.
Or if it means in the place of Israel itself, there's going to be other attacks, right? We know there's been attacks in Gaza and the West Bank.
Yeah.
We know even here domestically, people have attacked and murdered Palestinian people, right? It's too much violence. And we have too much technology that is being solely engineered to kill people.
True.
That we're not even able to comprehend the type of violence and how much death. It's been over 30,000 people.
Right.
And all of these estimates are because we don't know where people are.
True.
Because folks are still under the rubble.
Absolutely.
Folks may have disappeared. It's so much violence that people really do not have an accurate accounting of who's died, who's missing, where the kids are. People don't know people's names. It's too chaotic. On top of that, what you have is an administration who said that there are no red lines, that there are basically no rules of war in this conflict.
Right.
And what people need to understand when that situation happens is money and weapons are shared in between governments.
Right.
And there's contracts that happen with that sharing of money and the sharing of weapons. The United States said, you know what? We understand terror. We understand you want to defend yourself.
Yeah, have at it.
You know what that meant? That meant if you wanted to bomb journalists, if you wanted to bomb teachers, if you wanted to bomb,
religious institutions, mosques,
Christian churches,
hospitals.
And one of the things, there's two things I want to make as I wrap up. One is they started to bomb with precision guided missiles the family members of doctors and lawyers and medics. Right. And they started to target them because they would not leave the areas.
Oh, wow.
And that's why, doctor, I always say it wrong, like Rafat, if I die, he was targeted because of his social media accounts.
Right.
You have Motaz who left and, was flinging around. They basically said, your account is getting too much attention.
Right.
You either leave or we're going to kill you.
Right.
And so what people thought was a war against Hamas became quickly a war against people.
Right.
And that became an issue. On top of that, in the West Bank, what we're seeing is because they were doing these hostage swaps, Israel said, okay, we're going to release these 400 people, but then we're going to go arrest these 7,000. So our prisons are going to be full. So anytime we do a hostage swap, we'll have enough people in our prisons to say we still have Palestinians being held.
Right.
And so it is now encapsulated people from all over the world.
Right.
And all of these organizations are now like, what do we do? Because even here in Pittsburgh, there were organizations that were teaching youth in Gaza how to do tech, how to do coding.
Right.
So there would become, and when those got bombed, it was like, okay, so now what is my business going to do?
Right.
You know, we have people who are like, we had contracts, we were trying to bring professors over. Now what are we going to do? Yeah. And you really kind of saw Biden and be like, I don't care. Yeah. And then you saw Michigan.
Yeah. And I think too with Biden, it is a thing of like, here is, it's weird to watch it from the outside looking in, because Netanyahu is somebody who's never expressed the support for Biden or an administration anyway. Right. But to just allow them to do anything and whatever with like no type of condemnation at this point, and with the thing of almost like you're like your hands are tied. How, when you're the world's greatest superpower, it just makes a lot of that rhetoric about like, you know, you care about people and people's lives, as we're like watching people just starve to death. And then now it's like, oh, we're going to airdrop aid, when you can, there's trucks there full of food, and you can kind of say to Israel, hey, look, you're not getting this level of support unless we allow this food to go in. And that's that. And it just seems like the unwillingness to do that, you know, makes the administration not only look weak, but hypocritical when it comes to these supposedly I care for humanity stances. It's like, how can you watch a massacre of people wanting to get food, and then, you know, like, where's the response to that? It's like mind boggling. And then it's like, oh, well, vote for us because we're going to improve your life. It's a fascinating thing to watch, you know, like you try to like wiggle around all of these, you know, contradictions, you know?
Yeah, and I think also the problem with the Biden administration is, and we've said this before, these governments are so one-sided. They are not wrestling with the idea that we are a global society at this point.
1,000%.
Largely because of their policies.
Right.
But we are a global society, and so we're all connected. And when the United States uses its veto at the UN for the past 4 years to protect Israel, you're creating these situations where people are now saying, well, this government is not where I can go to raise the issue or concern. And then that breeds the breeding ground for terrorism and violence. And what we are saying, we're not saying, you know, be best friends with Hamas, right? That's not, that has never been
1,000%.
like our platform. This idea is you have to engage communities, and you have to give people hope, and you have to find ways for people to live, whether it is in Syria, Lebanon, you know, Argentina, like even the president of Venezuela was like, if you're tired of immigrants coming to your countries, stop the sanctions on Venezuela and Cuba and let us live and let us take care of our own people.
Let us thrive where we are.
This is these things that we're talking about is like, why do we have to be so involved in the way other nations run their countries solely based on the issue that they're communists and we're capitalists? If they are going to, if the people have voted for different,
if that's what they determine,
things like, I don't care. But Russia being a communist is not really.
I'm not there. But it also, it's really like, is that really the thing? Because like, you're not messing with China. And it's because of China has the military power to not allow you to come, and they have economic might. And so again, it's this thing, but to say like, it's actually now it's like harming. Now the Ukraine is actually suffering because of your unwillingness to take a humanist stance in this situation. Now, when you start talking about the Ukraine, the people are like, what? Well, you're okay with Israel doing this, but not Russia. So it weakens their whole thing. And it is made, you know, and when you include like Joe Biden, like because of his age looking frail, it just makes it look horrible. I know you had something you wanted to share, Farouk, on this topic.
The idea has left me.
Okay. Yeah. So now before I did want to move on, Miracle, to the fact that the New York Times does a poll that says a majority of Biden's 2020 voters, I don't know if that would be you two, now say he's too old to be effective.
Just now? Did he age another 100 years since last week's episode? Like
a New York Times Siena College poll revealed how much even his supporters worry about. It says 47%. This candidate, this is a question. this candidate is too old to be an effective president.
Who is Joe Biden?
47% of the people say he's too old to say, like, people that voted for him, that supported him in 2020, 61%. Miracle.
He said he was only going to be a one-term president. Remember? He said he was only running to save the soul of America from Trump and failed to do that.
Yes.
And I get that people feel like, okay, we cannot do another Trump presidency,
yes.
but his ideas are not new. He has not created any innovative ideas to help the people in this government except for...
Miracle, he said he's old, but his ideas are new.
His ideas are not
because
new.
he has early onset dementia.
Stop.
That's why. So they're always new.
Stop.
That's wrong.
No,
but it's not. It's accurate.
No, it's not.
It's not. And
they both have. Like Trump might have dementia as well. I mean, this is crazy.
It is.
There are rumors, and people need to be aware.
Would it be early onset, or would it be like
there are rumors?
Would it be
81-year-old
on schedule dementia
have memory issues?
It started with the fact that when he did that interview, he allegedly misstated some dates. And people have said that
Biden, you're talking about President Biden.
And the people have been saying that in recent interviews, he is getting dates and countries confused.
Right. Well, we saw him get Syria and no, it wasn't.
It was Mexico.
All I see is brown people.
Stop. Confused. So there are rumors, but again, this is nothing substantiated. And then when he went for his physical, he was the first president to not do a cognitive test.
True.
And traditionally, the cognitive test is a part of your annual physical.
That is
and
true. I forgot about that.
The administration said he shows his cognitive skills every day when he's on the campaign trail, when he's talking, doing interviews with reporters. And so there is rumors, right? But it's the same. There were also rumors when Hillary was running that, she had health issues too. So
true. I remember she collapsed at one time. Yeah.
So those things are always there. The thing is, the people that he has surrounded himself with, their ideas are nothing new. We have not had innovation.
There's no imagination.
Remember when Obama, Obama was not my favorite person, right?
Yeah.
But I remember Obama would come out and he would say, "Hey, we're updating this system. We're putting all these things together. Now when you apply for your taxes and you do your financial aid FAFSA, you just got to check a box. This year we don't even have FAFSA because the things aren't even working, right?
Wow.
All these he would always have newer technology, newer innovation. Who are talking about different issues, and Biden does not have, I don't know if it's je ne sais quoi, whatever you want to call it, he has not been able to place people in positions and also give them the ability to create and be innovative. And so it looks stale. It looks like the administration is not as marketing and as engagement as it could be.
I have an idea, Miracle. You know what Biden needs? A rap song. He needs a rap song.
I mean, he already got TikTok.
He needs to stand on business.
No,
he already got TikTok.
Stand on business too. The Joe Biden remix.
I hope that.
I'm telling you, he need to do Biden over Baghdad.
The lesson over 2024 is we need competitive elections.
True.
And I would almost argue that we need competitive elections with the financial cap, because the issue is we're worried about so much money taking in politics in the primaries that we have nothing for the general. I would say, you want to run for office, everybody gets like $3 million, do your primary. Yeah. Whoever wins on Super Tuesday, we'll see you, at the convention. We have basically been put in a situation that because we did not have competitive primaries, we have a person who allegedly may have significant health issues. Yeah. So we have to wait until...
A person or two persons?
But two people. And this is what's crazy, like what you're saying, Miracle, is that like you said, a competitive primary actually would have helped Joe Biden, because we would have seen him spar with other people around his ideas. And if you saw him engaging younger, because all the candidates are going to be younger than him. I mean, so if you see him engaging younger candidates in the, what do they call it? The marketplace of ideas, and he's able to hold his own.
Does he get a senior citizen discount there?
Stop. No, but it is a real thing because they're talking about their love that he's going to be on the campaign list, and they say it was because of pro-Palestinian protesters and the disruptions.
Yeah.
That he's going to now have more intimate venues and lower scale campaign stops.
Only barbecue places.
But the thing is that people are worried about
Are they making fried chicken?
if this is a cover for his health issues. And
Yes.
What if he asked Kamala to bring the mac and cheese?
Look, Miracle's trying to have serious dialogue, and that guy with the glasses, man, he's cracking the jokes.
I've been quiet the whole episode.
It's not. No, I mean, I want better for the state of the world. Yes. I really I know people don't think I do.
You do,
but I really do want better for the state of the world, and I believe that there is enough for all of us to exist and to be safe and not to be weaponized against each other.
Absolutely.
And I fear a lot because you have a lot of Jewish people who have cultural trauma, realistic trauma, and everyday threats, and now their identities are being weaponized by the worst people on the planet.
True.
And that is creating a level of anxiety that we have never even seen this or been able to process before. And then we also have in these situations Palestinian people who are literally watching their rights be taken. Like even and I want to point out what happened in Philly. You literally had a kid be doxxed by his teacher, and it's like, how are these kids going to be able to learn? And we just need our elected officials to take a break and maybe during this 6-week ceasefire to reevaluate the ways that they have not only shown up in community, but the ways that they have divided communities and try to find a way to bring
people together. Because
I'm outside. I don't want to be outside, but I'm outside, and I. It's like it's not even a keg. I don't even know what.
Right.
It's like a napalm. It's just like people are ready to explode.
Yeah, because it's like anti-Semitism is rising, or Islamophobia is rising like, at the same time. And just like you said, we're watching like so much pain. I mean, it's incredible. Like you said, it is a keg. And meanwhile, these white rural people is mad at everybody. Mad at Jews and Muslims and black and brown folk. It's a lot happening. But we do have blackmail. Oh, God. Our new segment, blackmail. And we got a Google review. Like, we're on Google and you could review one hood. And so Rick James. Now, we know this isn't.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in power.
We know this isn't Rick James. Rick James, I guess this is, I don't know if this is that person's name or a pseudonym, gave us 2 stars. And this was the comment.
Two is better than 1.
2 out of 5.
Okay.
I watched them when they started airing on Free Speech TV. Shout out to Free Speech. You know what I'm saying? I expected adult info about Black America. I expected adult info about Black America. I left after their silly, non-professional behavior.
Says more about you than it does about us.
And childish sound effects. Oh my God. Have you ever watched a podcast, Mr. James? You have some sound effects? You have some childish sound effects for Mr. James?
I might have a few.
Making fun of Biden and never pointing out his accomplishments.
Oh, wow.
Keep it up. They'll have those chains back on you soon.
Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Wow!
Out of pocket.
Jesus Christ. They'll have those chains back on you soon.
Too immature and self-loathing for me. Wow. So on one hand, we get attacked because we're racist. And what was the guy kept calling us? We're like,
racial.
We're prejudiced.
We're racial. Very racial.
Yes, that prejudice. You know what I'm saying?
You guys are racial.
Yes. And then we get attacked for now we're like self-loathing and immature. Now, I agree. I'm immature. I'll take that.
1,000%.
Yes. And we're like, again, it's under comedy, right? We're laughing. Although we've had some serious conversations on this show. We also try to make jokes. We try to keep it light. You know what I'm saying?
I would like to respond
to
this Google review.
Mr. James, yes.
I don't disagree with what you said. Not all of it.
Yes.
But this is my response.
Your childish sound effects. And again, like, we've talked about Biden's accomplishments. We've talked about.
Yeah, I mean, he's lived a long life.
We talked about the amount of student loan debt he has canceled.
We talked about student loans.
Biden has, in fact, lived longer than anybody on this planet.
We talked about Build Back Better.
Yes.
We have talked about his tours, his investment in small businesses.
Absolutely, yes.
We have talked.
We have talked about that,
As James Baldwin said, because I'm going to paraphrase, because we are part of this country, we have a right to critique.
Yes.
And sometimes we have to critique to push people to be a little bit better because they're not really there yet. It was Build Back Better, not
Biden's
Build
there.
Back Best.
Yes.
So we have to get to our best.
Yes.
And we have to improve. So that's why, we push, but we laugh a lot because you got, as you say, laugh to keep them crying.
And then it's like again, if this is a black,
keep me chained.
if this is a white person, that's crazy to say like they'll have those chains back on you soon. You
What
know
if
I'm saying?
Biden's campaign song will see you at the crossroads?
Yeah, come on.
What is wrong with you?
This is Mr. James' problem.
What can I do with you?
Making fun of Biden.
But you know what?
And but again, like to say, like again, it is wild because to say they'll have those chains back on
That's
you soon.
crazy.
Talking about the author of the crime bill and mass incarceration.
Come on, man.
It's kind of
That's
ironic.
crazy.
Okay, it's kind of ironic, but I would guess if this is a black person. That you're somebody
Look at
with
that.
black skin
And a white mask.
Yes, you probably need to read our white pages this week by Frantz Fanon, author of The Record of the Earth. This is you if you're black. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Miracle, you got something to say to Mr. James?
My brain has just,
He's cold-blooded.
No. Granted, people sometimes you just gotta laugh.
Yes.
But the reality is, we make jokes. We talk about the life that we are living. These policies impact us every single day, some more than others. And we have not always led with our personal stories. True. But a lot of these policies impact the way we live our lives.
Absolutely.
How we're able to live our lives, how we're able to be in community with our family and friends. We are dealing with the reality on the ground, and even how the lives that we are able to help and the lives we have not been able to help yet. Yeah. There's a lot of people are struggling in ways that we have not even been able to comprehend.
True.
And we are not even as an organization able to be there in some ways for our communities because we're not even legally allowed to.
Right.
And some like y'all have to understand what is going on.
Yes.
And so when we're laughing, we're making jokes,
yes.
but we're also raising awareness. And the fact that you're getting irate, that is something you have to process and understand why. Yeah. Like, why are you not able to understand news in a different format? Why are you so angry that people are laughing? Is it because you realize how serious times are right now? We believe in joy is resistance.
Yes. Why does Black Joy anger you so much? You know what I'm saying?
Really?
But the reality is too, and like again, this is a show, we laugh, we joke, it's very therapeutic for us because the reality, Mr. James, is every day we're in our community doing the real work. Every day we're in our community, whether it's supporting black artists, whether it's engaging our community around issues here in Pittsburgh, around poverty, around violence, around civic engagement. So every day we're engaging our community around these very serious issues. That's what we do. If you go to OneHood, the number onehood.org, you will see that. Again, you should support that work. We use this platform as a way to inform and entertain with laughter, you know what I'm saying? And so, yes, but every day we're doing the real work. And if you want to support OneHood, go to the number onehood.org. You can donate to OneHood, or you can get you some fly OneHood merchandise. A lot of people bought, shirts last week. OneHood.org under new merchandise. Support you. Get you a OneHood shirt so you can watch the show. You know what I'm saying? Farouk, you want to close?
Yeah, man. We have an almost 2-decade-long history of this organization.
True.
Of boots on the ground.
Yes.
Activism and grass tops engagement.
Yes.
Not only in the city of Pittsburgh, but internationally.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Multiple countries.
Yes.
And now, beyond that, we have sat down with politicians.
Yes.
Presidential candidates.
Yes.
Governors. Judges.
Yeah.
And then just your run-of-the-mill community people who are actually the most important voices of all.
Absolutely.
And while not all of them agree with us, 90% of the people are happy that we are in the spaces that we are.
True.
Talking about the issues that we do. So, Mr. James, have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
With that being said, I mean, we have some events coming up. I know on not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, we have our BSU event, our Black Student Union event coming up. That'll be in a black box. Go to One Hood social media if you want to find out what we're doing. The number One Hood Media on Instagram, the number One Hood Media on Facebook, and just simply One Hood on Twitter or X, where you can find out the work that we're doing. Also, I'll be in DC this week, Thursday and Friday, for a conference called Story Movements. I'll be speaking about the great work we're doing at One Hood. You can register for that. That's at American University. So register for Story Movements. If you want to, meet me in person, I'm going to be there. We can kick it. Miracle, what are you doing? Where can they meet you, Miracle?
Nowhere.
But really,
no, but you can always book me to come out and talk to your universities,
Yes,
or
she said, fly her out.
Fly me out.
Yes.
Let me get flued out. But also, if you go on our social media, I'm very excited that, under the guidance of the amazing videographer extraordinaire and storyteller Ime, we have dropped our 2024 GOTV campaign. You start to see it every week. When we talk about the way we're getting involved in our communities, I want people to feel encouraged and inspired. There's multiple ways to get involved. Voting is one of them. But you're going to start to see some really cool videos, and art with that, with Jasmine and Black Girl Absolute.
Yes.
It's just about that. And so, again, make sure you're subscribing to our social media pages, because you're going to see some really cool work that we have been working on. And as we roll up and get ready for May and our return for Brunch with the Black Man, we have some really cool projects as well coming up, and we're so excited. And we just thank you all for your support. Again, invite us out. We love to come do the show in person. Maybe do a This Week in White Supremacy tour. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of coming up, we're going to be at the White Privilege Conference, which is going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, April 3rd to the 6th. So we will be on the ground again doing our podcast. Mr. Saeed.
What?
The shaded
Arab in disguise or whatever. Is that what it was? Or
yeah.
I just don't get that.
Do you have any comments, closing comments, anything coming up, anything happening?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, so with that being said, one more thing. If you want to participate in our Black Mail segment, you can email us info@onehood.org, info@onehood. We're interested in what you have to say about our show and how you engage with us. With that being said, peace. This Week in White Supremacy. We'll see y'all next week, man. Even you, Mr. James.